It is the final WWE pay-per-view event before the showcase of the Immortals, WrestleMania. Monday Night Raw has the exclusive rights to it. Can they deliver what will be a memorable show come Sunday night? This is WWE Fastlane. Hello, friends. It's Anthony Floyer here with you for this very special edition of the Wrestling Forum. Normally, we do this on Saturday nights, but because of plans beyond all of our control, we were going to be unable to do a show on Saturday night. So I reached out to our Imperial Grand Poobah, Derek Ferreira, and Derek Ferreira agreed to let us do our preview show tonight to accommodate all of our special plans on Saturday nights. So with that being said, we're going to dive right on into it tonight. This Sunday night on the WWE Network, it is the final pay-per-view event before the biggest event of all of wrestling's, in all of professional wrestling, that being WrestleMania 33. We have one more teeny tiny pit stop on the way to that. And it's called WWE Fastlane, and Monday Night Raw is the brand that gets it. It's exclusive to the Red Show. So looking at this card, hopefully they can deliver it. So let's see what happens. It'll be live this Sunday night from the BMO Harris Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, home to the NBA's Milwaukee Bucks. And we have, let me see here. We have altogether, I believe it's 8 total matches, including the kickoff show, which we are not going to get into, but we're going to let you know what the kickoff show match is anyway. It's a cruiserweight match. It's Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa squaring off against the Brian Kendrick and Noam Dar. That's your kickoff show fight. And we're not going to talk about that because we don't get into kickoff show fights. That's our usual creed here. So without further ado, let's get into it. And we're going to start it off with the first of our 2 women's matches on this card. Sasha Banks squaring off against Nia Jax. Considering Nia Jax has been dominating Sasha Banks as of late, it makes sense for Sasha Banks to get back in the win column here. That could lead Jax to take out Banks as revenge during the women's title match later in the show, which could ultimately help set up the Fatal 4-Way Women's Championship match that we all expect to go down at WrestleMania 33 with Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, Bayley, and Charlotte Flair. And we'll talk about the other 2 in just a little bit. But I think Sasha Banks is due for a win here against the most dominant female in the business today, considering that Nia Jax has dominated Sasha for so long. I think Sasha can finally get the win back here and get some much needed momentum going into Mania. So I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to go with the boss, Sasha Banks, to come out on top in this one. So with that being said, before we move on, I don't know where the Twisted Angel Didi Woodson is. I'm guessing she will not be joining us here. But if she in the event that she does come in, we'll catch her up on what she missed. But if not, then myself and good old MF Michael Fletcher and the Phenom Michael Bullock, we got you covered here on this special Thursday night edition of our preview here. So I got Sasha Banks winning. So let's bring in the host of the Cerebral Smack Talk, the one and only good old MF Michael Fletcher. MF, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, one more time. Nia Jax dominant. It's well documented. Can Sasha finally get one here on the monster here? I think she can.
It's possible that she can. I don't know if she will or not. I think that's going to be the $1 million question. I think I agree that, well, I do believe that all 4 are on the collision course for WrestleMania. I think we all can at least agree to those terms. But as far as who we think is going to win this fight, like you said, I think it's going to be an interesting match. I think it's going to be a good battle. Not as good as the other fight, and we'll get into that a little bit later on in the evening. But yes, I'm gonna agree with you, Anthony. I'm gonna go with Sasha Banks to win the match and defeat Nia Jax. So, Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you.
Yes, I mean, yeah, I think it makes sense to have Sasha Banks to get a win back here. I mean, she's lost to Nia Jax before, and it wouldn't make sense to have her lose two in a row to her. I think she'll find some way to get it done. Whether it's, I mean, I doubt it will be with the bank statement, but she'll find some way. So yeah, I'm gonna agree, and I'm gonna say Sasha Banks wins it, and I also agree. I think, I mean, this will be an okay fight, but nothing compared to the other women's fight that we'll talk about later on in the show. So give me Sasha Banks to win. So with that being said, Florio, let's just move on to the next match we will preview.
And Michael Fletcher, good old MF, will be leading it off. Will be leading off on that one. It's the first of our 4 championship matches on this show. This one for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Champions Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson defending against the challengers and number 1 contenders, the Wrestling Forum's favorite tag team, Enzo Amore, Big Cass, MF. I know for a fact that you and Derek Ferreira, the 2 biggest Bullet Club marks that we know, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, well documented their success with the Bullet Club and all that. Enzo and Cass, let's face it, the best tag team to never win a recognized tag team championship, whether it be in NXT or in the WWE. Is it are Anderson and Gallows? Is Anderson and Gallows' reign going to continue to be too sweet, or are the Wrestling Forum's favorite tag team and the best tag team to never win the big belts finally going to get their moment in the sun? I hope so.
I'm sorry, Anthony. If you're hoping that we're gonna have new tag team champions, Sunday night is not gonna be your night. I believe it's gonna be Anderson and Gallows. Look, don't get me wrong. I also am a big fan of Enzo and Cass. I love their body of work. I think they've been unbelievable and everything that they bring to the table. But Anderson and Gallows are just on another level. And I kind of feel like WWE kind of holds them back during like the regular run, but then once you get into big fights like championship matches, that's when the Anderson and Gallows comes out and they rise up to the big occasion. Um, right now, other than that, and the thing is I don't believe that they're the biggest team out there or the best. It's just that right now, it just depends on situations and whatnot. But I just feel like they're better off right now. So yeah, I'm sorry to say, but if you're thinking crowning of new tag team champions, I don't believe it's gonna happen, guys. I'm sorry. Not on this night, not on this event. Maybe sometime down the line. But as like I said, I think Anderson and Gallows is gonna get the job done. They're gonna keep the tag team titles in their possession.
All right, let's throw it now to Michael Bullock and Michael Bullock. Before we get to your thought on this, I want to make a decree here and now. If, and this is a big if Enzo and Cass win the Raw Tag Team Championship, Michael Bullock, how about you and I, like we have done so many times during our Raw chats, if they win the belts, how about you break out the Enzo shtick? What do you think?
I will certainly do that. I'll break it out only if they win the Raw Tag Team titles.
Fair enough. That's exactly what I was leaning towards. So what do you
But
think, man?
if not, then I think we should just leave it at that.
Agreed. Absolutely. So, Michael Bullock, are our boys going to get it done, or is it going to continue to be too sweet for the club, Anderson and Gallows?
I hate to say this, but I think it's going to continue to be too sweet for the club. So I'm going with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson to retain the Raw Tag Team titles. I mean they've had it for a little time, and I think it would be too soon to take the titles off of them. So I mean, don't get me wrong, I got nothing against Enzo and Cass. Of course, they're definitely my favorites, no doubt about it. But I just don't think it's their time yet. I mean, it will be at some point down the road, but until then, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. So uh, there's really nothing more to say. So Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson win and remain your Raw Tag Team Champions. I mean, they finally got their moment in the sun when they won it. Let them keep the titles for a while and have a good run with it. So Florio, it's yours.
Yeah. Anderson and Gallows won the Raw Tag Team Championship back at the Royal Rumble kickoff show when they knocked off Cesaro and Sheamus. They've held the titles since. WWE has done an adequate job rebuilding Gallows and Anderson after hanging them on an awful comedy gimmick as the club came to an end. Considering Enzo and Cass have never held a tag team title in WWE or NXT, it would be a bit confusing to give them a win here, as the moment can be built up much greater down the line. Perhaps they can capture the titles at WrestleMania, where the big-time faces could elicit a huge pop from the crowd in Orlando, Florida, where they first gained popularity with NXT. I have to go with my gut here. My gut is telling me Anderson and Gallows retains, even though my heart is telling me to go with Enzo and Cass to win the titles. And I would love to see that happen. And for Michael Bullock to break out the Enzo Amore shtick, like he always does during our Raw chats when we have them. But, fellas, I'm going to agree with you. We're going to make it unanimous. Winners and still Raw Tag Team Champions. Too sweet indeed. Luke Gallows and the Machine Gun Carl Anderson will remain your Raw Tag Team Champions, I'm afraid. Moving on to the second of our 4 championship matches. This one for the Cruiserweight Championship. Champion Adrian Neville defending the title against the number 1 contender, gentleman Jack Gallagher. Jack Gallagher earning the right to be for this match to challenge Neville by result of winning a fatal 5-way elimination match on a recent edition of 205 Live, which I admit it, and I still admit, is the greatest match in the short history of 205 Live. 4 to 4.25 stars. I rated that bout. Go out of your way to watch it if you haven't yet. So, Michael Bullock, let's start this one off with you here. Adrian Neville winning the Cruiserweight Championship at the Royal Rumble, taking it off of Rich Swann. He's held the title since. Will Neville continue to be the king of the Cruiserweights, or will it be the era of the gentleman? And you've been you, Michael Bullock, out of the 3 of us, have taken the most liking to gentleman Jack Gallagher. Why is that? His abilities? What is it?
It's just his abilities. I mean, his abilities. I mean, I know we look at him and you think, man, he doesn't have the abilities of a cruiserweight, but I'm telling you, people, you watch some of his matches and the abilities that he has in some of his matches, it just leaves me impressed. So, yeah, so who knows? Maybe he could give Neville some fits and maybe threaten him and threaten to win the cruiserweight title. But let's be honest here. I mean, having Neville as the cruiserweight champion, I think, is the best thing going for him. I mean, his heel character is working out perfectly. It would be too soon for him to lose the cruiserweight title, because if that were the case, he would be considered a paper champion, and I mean, I don't think he's a paper champion as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this heel character is working good, and putting that cruiserweight title on him at the Royal Rumble was a really good thing. It's too soon to take it off of him. So I got Neville winning and retaining the cruiserweight title because as we've been talking about, rumors of a potential feud with him for the cruiserweight title against a certain somebody that works on 205 Live. And who's that person? None other than Austin Aries. I mean, imagine how awesome that match would be for the cruiserweight title at WrestleMania when it's him and Austin Aries going at it. So if you're going to do that, then you need to still have the cruiserweight title on Neville. So Neville will continue his reign as king of the cruiserweights. Florio, it's yours.
I agree. I got Adrian Neville as well. I mean, let's face it. I mean, ever since they turned him heel at the last Raw exclusive pay-per-view, Roadblock End of the Line in December in Pittsburgh, Neville has been fantastic as a dominant heel in his return to WWE from injury. Though others are enjoying the cruiserweight division, for me, he's the only entertaining part of it right now. And there is no way that WWE is not booking him to drop the belt to Gallagher. So, I mean, this is a nice moment for Jack Gallagher. You know, he won that fatal five-way elimination bout on 205 Live, which, like I said, unreal. Go out of your way and watch it if you have not watched it yet. I hope you guys have seen it. I mean, I've seen it at least a couple times already, and I get chills every time I watch that sucker back, and especially that final interaction with Jack Gallagher and TJP. But Gallagher, I mean, him and Sir William III, his little umbrella there, you had your moment in the sun, but I'm afraid this is all it's going to be for now, as Adrian Neville will continue his dominant heel run as the Cruiserweight champion. He'll take it into WrestleMania. And, of course, what Bullock was alluding to, a dirt sheet that came out a few weeks ago, a dirt sheet that I informed Michael Bullock of when we had a guys' night out a few weeks back. I informed him of it, and then MF picked up on it a few days later. The rumor down the road, according to the dirt sheet, is that Adrian Neville will defend the Cruiserweight Championship at WrestleMania against the greatest man who ever lived, A-double Austin Aries. My Lord in heaven, if we end up getting that at WrestleMania, oh, Lord help us. But then again, after something that MF sent to me yesterday on Facebook about the supposed leaked card for WrestleMania 33, that's not in the cards for the cruiserweight match at WrestleMania. Hopefully, the first time around is what we get, even though the other rumored cruiserweight match for WrestleMania, that could be whatever. It doesn't matter what the cruiserweight match is at Mania, whether it's Neville and Aries or this other rumored match, which is supposedly a multi-man ladder match for the Cruiserweight Championship. Whichever one of those two cruiserweight bouts we get at Mania, I hope and pray that it's the shot in the arm that this division desperately, truly needs. Because let's face it, ever since this cruiserweight division came to Monday Night Raw, it's sold like a lead balloon. At times, it's been stale as moldy bread. And I am hoping that whatever we get at Mania, whether it's Neville and Aries one-on-one or the multi-man ladder match, I don't care. I just hope that we get that shot in the arm because I'm rooting for this division. I still have faith in this division. People I know have already given up on it. D.D. Whitson, of course, doesn't even bother to comment. Michael Bullock, went on a boycott, some time ago, but he recently ended it. Whereas MF and I, we've stuck to our guns. Me a little more because, I watched the Cruiserweight Classic every single week back in the summer. That thing was off the hook each and every week. And 205 Live's just been there. The matches on Raw have really been meh. So hopefully here at Fastlane with Neville and Gallagher, that can be a step in the right direction. And then WrestleMania, they can blow it out of the box, whatever we get. So Mini rant over. Adrian Neville, still cruiserweight champion. He retains. Let's bring in good old MF Michael Fletcher on this one. MF, it's well documented about how Michael Bullock is a big Jack Gallagher fan as well as I. But you have been the biggest supporter of Adrian Neville, mainly during his heel character. And I know I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be shocked if you went against him, but I know you're not.
No, I'm not gonna go against him. Look, Jack Gallagher has been a very good guy. I don't mind him. I think he's been very good. But at the end of the day, there's goodness and then there's greatness. And what Adrian Neville has brought to the table is that greatness. I don't think there's anybody who you can even argue or debate or say whatever. He has been, without a doubt, one of the biggest bright spots in all of WWE right now, and there's nothing else you can say about it. It was amazing. It's been remarkable. It's been everything that you hope for. He's shining the arm in the division. He's that lifeline, that linchpin, whatever you want to call it. He's been that. And at the end of the day, yes, I'm going to call it again. I'm rooting for him to win that match. And yes, guys, no arguments here. Adrian Neville, still the Cruiserweight champion. Let's move on.
And now we move on to one of our huge fights of the show here. Well, actually, the next 4 matches, you can really make an argument that all 4 of these are main event caliber worthy. Let's start it off with the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe, squaring off against the underdog of the underground, Sami Zayn. In what has a chance to be the fight of the night, Joe and Zayn should put on a show. Not only are the two quite familiar with each other, dating back to their days in Ring of Honor, which MF can tell you stories on days about, their clashing styles will most likely produce an exciting bout. Considering Samoa Joe was just introduced to the WWE main roster and is currently involved in a major storyline with Seth Rollins and Triple H, it makes more sense for him to go over here. So, long story short, I got the Samoan submission machine. I got Samoa Joe winning this bout and going on to bigger and better things down the road, especially with what I read when I came across that video MF sent to me yesterday about that leaked WrestleMania card. And if if the match they have in mind for him ends up being the fight he goes for, that it could be hella fun. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to give too much away, but nonetheless, I got Samoa Joe over Sami Zayn. And I think this has the potential to be the fight of the night here. I really do, because of these guys' bodies of work. So give me Samoa Joe. MF, you better than anybody know the history of Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn dating back to their crazy days in ROH.
Yeah, Samoa Joe was Samoa Joe. He was not really known as the Samoan submission machine, but he was that. And then, of course, for all you Sami Zayn fans out there, if you remember in with El Generico, he was he was El Generico. He was one of the best. Many called him at one time the best in the world. Before the moniker was taken by CM Punk. So at the end of the day, I would probably say right now you would probably would relate or say, oh, that it's CM Punk, and then but there was a lot of things going on way back when. So at the end of the day, no arguments here. It's definitely going to be a great matchup. I just hope they get the necessary time and whatnot. But for me, honestly, I'm going to call it. I'm going to predict it. I believe the winner is going to be Samoa Joe. I think they're going to want to get Joe a big push, big momentum going into WrestleMania, because who knows what we're going to get after that. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm going to go with Samoa Joe to win. Mike Bullock, I'll give it to you.
Yes, this got the potential to be a fight of the night contender. I mean, yeah, you basically described the history of these two, especially going to back to their days in ROH, and yeah, this rivalry, of course, began, of course, in WWE, of course, when Sami Zayn basically called Samoa Joe a coward hiding behind a suit which is, of course, Triple H, and Samoa Joe basically took offense to that, attacked him, and he's attacked him before, but this past week on Raw, of course, Sami Zayn got the better of the Samoan machine. So, but in the end, I got Samoa Joe winning this one as well, because I mean, I do agree. I mean, you want to give him a really good push going into WrestleMania. So Samoa Joe wins it. Florio, let's preview our next match.
And now we go to the three big main events, a triple main event, if you will, an unofficial triple main event. The third of our 4 championship matches for the Raw Women's Championship. Champion Bayley defending the title against challenger and former 4-time champion Charlotte Flair. MF, we start this one off with you here. Does Bayley's magical run continue, or does Charlotte Flair extend her incredible undefeated pay-per-view streak, which is, I believe, it now 16-0? Can the Queen make it 17-0, regain the belt again, and become a 5-time women's champion? Something has to give. So, MF, is it the magical run of Bayley? Is it going to continue? Or are we going to go back to reality and back to the era of the Queen? So, MF, who you got in this Raw Women's Championship matchup? I don't know if
Did we lose him?
I think we may have.
Or something maybe.
Oh, MF, are you there?
I'm here.
All right.
Okay.
We thought something happened with you.
No, I'm just
right.
I was just I muted it off, letting you guys talk whatever you wanted it to say, and then I just wanted, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, I just caught it at the last moment. So no.
All right. Bayley, it's Bayley and Charlotte. MF. Is Bayley's magical championship run going to continue, or is it back to reality and back to the era of the Queen yet again?
That number 16-0 is really sticking out in my mind. 16-0 in championship fights on pay-per-view. I just don't see how Charlotte does not get the belt back here. I mean, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, what the hell? But I just don't see Bayley going into WrestleMania. I think I think it was a mistake. I think a lot of people were hoping. I think it was more of a hope and a prayer. I don't think Bayley should have been the champion this early, this quick. People have said, I think to give Bayley that championship moment, winning the belt, I thought was a mistake. I think WWE is kind of now going to make this thing into a hot potato again, which we all love. No, guys, I'm going to call it here. I think we're going to have a new champion. I think Charlotte's going to win the belt for the 5th time in her career. I'm predicting it right now. Charlotte Flair, the new WWE Raw Women's Champion. All right, guys. Mike Bullock, it's all yours.
Yeah, like you just said, Fletch, that 16-0 undefeated pay-per-view streak for Charlotte. I mean, that's sticking out, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I know people are gonna bash me for saying this. I mean, because of course I am a member of the hugger section, but I think WWE made a mistake. I think with the giving Bailey the women's title this early, because to me, I'll be quite honest, and I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me on it. They should have had that moment for WrestleMania. I think this is that would have been the perfect time for Charlotte's pay-per-view undefeated streak to end and have Bailey have that moment of winning the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania in front of that big crowd. So so unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go with Charlotte to win and once again be the Raw Women's Champion and extend that pay-per-view undefeated streak. Sorry, members of the Hugger section. If you want to bash me, go right ahead, but I'm just being brutally honest. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's going to be back to reality, my friends. I'm going to make it unanimous yet again. I, too, have Charlotte Flair becoming the new Raw Women's Champion. Longtime viewers of our show and longtime readers of dirt sheets and the whole 9 yards, they know how frustrating we find WWE's decision to have the women's title change hands so frequently. The championship has changed hands 5 times in as many months and could have 9 different reigns inside of a year entering WrestleMania when Charlotte wins the title on Sunday night. We were all utterly confused with WWE choosing to let Bayley win the championship on the February 13th edition of Monday Night Raw at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, particularly considering her taking the belt at WrestleMania would have been an incredible moment akin to Daniel Bryan winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at the big show at WrestleMania 30, a la the Miracle on Bourbon Street in the Superdome in New Orleans. WWE should still want that moment. And unless they plan to have Sasha Banks turn heel and beat Bayley, which I doubt, considering the dearth of baby faces on Raw, that would mean Charlotte extends her pay-per-view winning streak to 17 matches, to 17-0 with the title on the line. I think it's going to be a very good bout, but we're going to see. We're going to continue. Unfortunately, we're going to deal with, and we're going to have to continue the quote unquote hot potato booking of the Raw Women's Championship. So, winner and new Raw Women's Champion. Back to reality, folks. The Queen takes back her throne one more time and becomes the 5-time champ. So Charlotte Flair is your new Raw Women's Champion. And now, gentlemen, are you ready for a Be a Man fight? Because we're going to get a Be a Man fight with our next match. We got the big dog. We got Roman Reigns squaring off against the monster among men. Come on, Bullock. Let's do it like we do in our Raw chat. Roar! Braun Strowman, the monster among men. And I do believe it's Michael Bullock who starts it off here. So, Bullock, Roman Reigns, the big dog, the monster among men, Braun Strowman. This has Be a Man fight written all over it. Simple question. Who you got in this Be a Man fight?
Oh, this is definitely going to be a Be a Man fight, no doubt about it in my mind. Yeah, of course, this has been building for so long, of course, ever since, of course, Roman Reigns, of course, since Braun Strowman cost Roman Reigns the WWE Universal title back in the Royal Rumble when he interfered in the match, and Braun Strowman continues to dominate on Monday Night Raw, and even what he did to the Big Show, I mean, the largest athlete in the world, and I mean Braun Strowman made the Big Show look like a cruiserweight, for goodness sakes. So yeah, I mean, this should be a really good match, but I think Roman Reigns, to me anyway, is going to get the win here. And I read a little something, of course, that Michael Fletcher shared earlier on Facebook, and this is what it says: per cage side seats, and I don't know if you've seen this, Florio, but this is what it says: The Undertaker is expected to appear at Fastlane. Looks like we will have a rekindling feud between Reigns and The Undertaker. So I think Reigns gets the win here, and then I think he's going to get confronted by the Dead Man, the Phenom, The Undertaker, and that's going to set up their match at WrestleMania, where it'll be Roman Reigns versus the Dead Man, The Undertaker. So that's all I'm going to say. So Roman Reigns wins. So Florio, who you got?
I did not see that because I had work commitments, so I wouldn't have had the time to see it. But I'll definitely go and try to find that. But nonetheless, there are 3 ways this could play out. 1, Braun Strowman's entire build was to feed him to Roman Reigns, who would gain additional dominant credibility with a win and move on to WrestleMania against The Undertaker. Number 2, Roman Reigns actually becomes Braun Strowman's latest victim, jolting the big man's feasibility as a Taker opponent exponentially entering Mania. And number 3, the fight gets absolutely out of control, ending in some form of a draw, with them facing each other again at WrestleMania under a stipulation or special match, such as Hell in a Cell. There are some unsubstantiated rumors surrounding the Dead Man's health at this point, but I just do not see WWE repeating Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman at the show of shows. A month from tonight, guys. We're exactly a month away from it. But let's be realistic. It's going to be Roman Reigns against The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And CageSideSeats.com, that's a credible source right there. I'm not going against what they say. If they say The Undertaker is going to be at Fastlane, I think The Undertaker will be at Fastlane. And then we can start the build for Reigns and Taker at WrestleMania, which has potential to be all kinds of awesomeness. So, and oh boy, and if we do get it, oh boy, that crowd in Orlando, oh my goodness, that's gonna be a sight. That's all I can say. So there's nothing left for me to say here. Michael Bullock, I actually agree with you on this one. I've got Roman Reigns knocking off Braun Strowman, especially after what Braun Strowman has done. I mean, you talked about the bout with the Big Show on Monday Night Raw a couple weeks ago. Oh boy, did that thing deliver. I mean, we thought that thing was going to absolutely suck. But oh boy, did we end up getting some egg on our face. And this is one time we'll take the egg on our face, because that fight, far and away, that's your sleeper fight of 2017. I don't care what anybody says. I know we got a long way to go, but when it comes to 2017, that's going to be the sleeper fight of the year, no doubt about it. So, but here, the big dog gets his bone. He'll feast on Braun Strowman. It's a man fight. It's gonna be all kinds of craziness, but the big dog will get his moment. The guy will move on to WrestleMania, where he will have the torch passed to him by the Dead Man. So that's all I can say there. Roman Reigns over Braun Strowman. MF, nobody loves a good be a man fight more than you do. Here you go, bro. Here you go, brother. Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, be a man, baby.
Yeah, this is going into this, I had a lot to think about, a lot on my mind going into this fight, how this is going to play out, how this is going to turn out, and this and that. And I know a lot of people was like, you know what, give Strowman the big moment, give him a monster push, give him a great thing here. This would propel him. And don't get me wrong, it would be great. It would propel him. But you know, Vince McMahon loves Roman Reigns and wants him to be a big time player as always. He sees something really big in Roman, more than anybody else in WWE. So I'm sorry, guys, but I think Roman's going to win this fight. Boobers will probably go nuts, and I know IWC will probably chomping at the bit with the pitchforks and the torches. But you know what? It is what it. This is how it's going to be played out. Whatever the case may be, it's going to be a great match, solid fight. I'm not going to call sleeper fight of the night because I think that's kind of not going to be it. It's just going to be a solid match and enjoyable. But sorry, guys, I got Roman winning. So let's move on.
And we move on to the main event of the evening for the WWE Universal Championship. Champion Kevin Owens defending the title against the one and only Bill Goldberg. It's quite clear that WWE has Chris Jericho in mind as Kevin Owens' opponent at WrestleMania. The question is, how do they get to that point? Kevin Owens could win Sunday, perhaps with some interference from Brock Lesnar, and he will face Chris Jericho for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania, with Chris Jericho perhaps dropping the United States Heavyweight Championship at some point, since Jericho is the current United States Heavyweight Champion. What seems more likely, though, I'm sorry to say, and I know MF's going to have a field day with this, is Kevin Owens falling to Bill Goldberg, who will go on to defend the Universal Championship against Brock Lesnar in a mega match. Whether Chris Jericho played a role in Owens' loss is irrelevant, but it would advance the rivalry. Falling to Goldberg also gives Owens a built-in excuse, and assuming Lesnar beats Goldberg next month and win the Universal title, it would also give him a break from the title and an opportunity to come back and win it on his own without Triple H's help. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor will both need a top heel opponent soon, and Owens can fit that bill. I know MF's not going to like what I'm about to say, but I got to be real honest here. I got to go with my gut here. Dirt sheets never lie, folks. Most of the time, they don't lie. And a lot of the dirt sheets recently were calling for Bill Goldberg to win the Universal Championship and have him defend that very title at WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar. So, MF, I'm sorry. I know you're not going to like this, but I got to be the man who tells it like it is. The winner and new WWE Universal Champion, Bill Goldberg. MF, it's been well documented over the last few weeks on this show. You're very critical and you're very much against the idea of a Goldberg and Lesnar. But then again, you're not the only one. We all are. But nonetheless, here we are. Kevin Owens, Bill Goldberg, Universal Championship match at Fastlane. How about it?
All right. Like you said, I've been very critical about it. I've been not so thrilled about it as well. I really feel like this was going to be a major mistake if WWE goes down this direction, but it looks like they are going to do it. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I can't really argue or say whatever one way or another, even though I feel like it's better off that they do it in a different direction. But, you know, WWE has a lot of dilemmas. How are you going to fit Chris Jericho in this? How's Lesnar going to fit into all this? Because, like you said, if Goldberg wins, that makes Goldberg and Lesnar for the Universal Championship. Timers fighting for a belt that's supposed to be defended every month. I don't like that at all. I'm very critical about that. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho for the Universal title would be a better factor. Now, granted, like you said, I have to drop the belt somewhere along the way because he is the United States Heavyweight Champion. I'd rather it go in a way where Owens can retain the title because of Lesnar, and then we can go down that road. Now, there's a couple of dirt sheets, like you said. There was one that has Lesnar winning it, Goldberg winning it, and the title has to go up for grabs. There, where, according to this article, and I showed you and I handed it to you, Anthony, about a day or so ago, that said that and Goldberg are going to fight in a career-ending match where Owens and Jericho is fighting for the Universal title. But another problem that lies is this, and you even said it. And the problem that lies is, well, Jericho's about to leave because he's about to do something with Fozzy or something like that. So it be, like you said, I'd rather have Owens as the champion coming out of this, going into WrestleMania, coming out of that as the champion, and then you focus on the future, which is, maybe that could be, Finn Balor, that could be Seth Rollins, if Rollins is healthy enough, because who knows what that's going to be like, because it doesn't look like Rollins is at 100%. A lot of people don't even know if he'll even make it to WrestleMania. Let alone right now, he's on the outside looking in. At the end of the day, I should say, I'm going to go and I'm going to predict that Kevin Owens wins the match, keeps the belt, and goes on to WrestleMania. Because of some interference, thanks to Brock Lesnar, he's going to cost Goldberg. That's going to protect their fight. That's going to protect the Universal title from becoming a part-time joke. And at the end of the day, like I said, the title needs to be defended every month. If in fact, it should be defended as many times as it can, because if you're going to make the Universal Championship a legit championship, you can't have a part-timer have it. I'm sorry. That's my take about it. That's my feel about it. We were griping for months when Brock Lesnar was the WWE World Heavyweight Champion that the belt was not being defended every month, and it took the credibility of the belt away. You want to do that to Monday Night Raw and really make Raw the worst show of 2016, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, then be my guest, make Goldberg the champion, have Lesnar win it at WrestleMania, and then let's see how your shows go after that. It's yours.
All right. I stepped away for a little bit. So Florio, who did you have winning?
I have Goldberg winning the title, whereas MF has retaining. So you're the deciding factor. Who do you agree with?
It's tough to decide, but with everything I've been hearing as of late, who do I agree with? I'm sorry, Fletch. I'm gonna have to agree with Anthony Florio on this one. I'm gonna go with Goldberg wins this one and becomes the new WWE Universal Champion. And I think he's gonna defend that title at WrestleMania. So who knows? Maybe I could be wrong, and what you just said could come true, and it ends up being Kevin Owens defending it against Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. So we'll wait and see how it all plays out. So, but for right now, I'm going with Goldberg to win it. So nothing else to say. Let's move on, Florio.
And before we wrap it up, of course, you know what we do. Our level of interest, how do we think the show is going to play out on Sunday night? And I don't know if you guys want to make this an open forum, or if you want, or if MF just, or we can just let MF start it off here, because that's how the order goes. So
I'll take it. I'll take it.
all right, MF. How do you see this event playing out? What's your level of excitement of this event on a scale from 1 to 10?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. That's basically been pretty much the norm with Monday Night Raws lately. I don't think you're gonna get that much of a difference. I think right now you kind of have to feel that you hope the show's gonna go really good. You hope that everything will play out great, but there's no guarantees here. The card is pretty good. I'm not gonna call it stacked or loaded, but it does have opportunities. Let's say that. With all the title fights, with the 4 major matches that could be main event quality, like you said, Anthony, it looks good. But if they execute it well, then I think you're going to have a big night. But, a lot of the times Monday Night Raw has always been great on paper, but it never translates on the actual show. I think the exception to the rule has been SmackDown, where, again, not a big roster, not a lot of time, and they utilize their show so damn good that they make it amazing. So for me, my expectation is 7 out of 10. With that said, Michael Bullock, I'll hand it off to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 7.5 out of 10. I think it's gonna be the rating for this Fastlane. I mean, I think this could definitely be well good, but I mean it'll be a good pay per view. But definitely, I mean some of the things I'm definitely looking forward to. Of course, Goldberg and Kevin Owens. Of course, Strowman and Roman Reigns. The Raw Women's Title match. I mean, yeah. So that's pretty much all I could say on it. I mean, they need to really deliver, especially with this being the final, stop before we officially hit the road hit the road to WrestleMania. So, with that being said, Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Yeah, I'll make it unanimous. 7 to 7.5 out of 10 is definitely how I see Fastlane going down. Of course, you know me being the Raw guy here. I'm praying to the good Lord that it ends up being better than that. But I would love to see Monday Night Raw finally have that big pay-per-view event. I mean, when it comes to the brand exclusive pay-per-views, let's be realistic. SmackDown Live has been the A event. I mean, look what they did with the Elimination Chamber, for goodness sakes. Look how amazing that event turned out to be, especially that chamber match itself. Raw have work to do, and I called them out. I said we need to step up. I mean, Monday Night Raw is the original A show, for goodness sakes. In my heart of hearts, I still believe it's the A show. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, I know SmackDown Live's been the better show. I will openly admit it. And I know I might be risking the opening of a Pandora's box here and being the brunt of a Cerebral Viper rant, but Monday Night Raw needs a shot in the arm when it comes to Raw exclusive pay-per-views. Clash of the Champions, solid, but not overly spectacular. Same can be said for Roadblock, End of the Line. I could even say that for Hell in a Cell. Solid is not going to cut it. We need to be pretty honking fantastic here. And this is the final pay-per-view event before the Showcase of the Immortals, the biggest event of the year, which we are exactly 1 month away. I can't even fathom that. A month away already, guys. Unbelievable. See, like just yesterday we were, talking about WrestleMania 32 in Jerry World. But here we are a month away from the Citrus Bowl. I'm not calling it Camping World Stadium. I think it's a terrible name. But, it is what it is. The Citrus Bowl in Orlando, WrestleMania 33. To me, Joe and Zayn has the potential to be the fight of the night. Reigns and Strowman can deliver a what I think could be an amazing be a man type fight. I'm not really sure how Owens and Goldberg could play out. I hope it's not going to be one of those Goldberg squash matches like we saw when Goldberg squashed Lesnar in 126 at the Survivor Series and that whole thing. Bayley and Charlotte, potential to be a phenomenal women's match. If I had to pick a worst fight of the night out of this, I would probably have to say it's a toss-up between the Sasha and Nia Jax fight or the Raw Tag Team Championship fight. I got a feeling both of those are going to be TV quality at best, if I'm going to be real honest. And the Cruiserweight match has the potential to be a sleeper fight of the night, no question about it. But for me, the standout fight to me is Joe and Zayn, Bayley and Charlotte Flair for the women's title. Reigns and Strowman's got a potential to be a man fight. And who knows what they'll do with Owens and Goldberg. So 7 to 7.5 out of 10. Come on, Raw. I want to see Monday Night Raw blow SmackDown Live out of the box and take back their title of A show. I know SmackDown Live's been the A show as of late. Like I said, I will openly admit it. Pains me to admit it as a Raw guy, but as we always say, it is what it is. So I'm going to pray to the good Lord more than I ever have that Monday Night Raw delivers a pay-per-view that for once can actually top SmackDown Live. My gut tells me that's not going to happen, but I believe in my heart of hearts. If they bring the effort, which I know they can, these talented young men and women, come on, Team Red. Let's blow SmackDown Live out of the box and make MF eat his words for a change. Nothing personal, MF. I'm just saying. So with that being said, that'll put the ball on this special Thursday night preview edition of the Wrestling Forum. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, we'll see you all tomorrow night at this time for Strictly Sports. The three of us will be back talking about Magic Johnson becoming the president of the Los Angeles Lakers. We'll preview the upcoming bout in boxing with Manny Pacquiao against Amir Khan. And we're going to preview the World Baseball Classic. We're also going to preview UFC 209, or MF's going to preview UFC 209. And we will have our NBA Power Rankings. No show Saturday night because Michael Bullock's taking part in something very special. The Special Olympics Super Plunge, the 24-hour Super Plunge. And I'll give Bullock the chance to talk about that tomorrow night on Strictly Sports. And MF, of course, will be going to UFC 209. With our good friend Alex Zapata, and then Sunday night, following Fastlane, the three of us and Dee Dee Woodson hopefully will be with you for the recap of Fastlane, and then we'll have Ridiculously Raw, where we start out all the fallout and officially kickstart the road to WrestleMania, and then the Cerebral Smack Talks. So on Tuesdays, so there you go. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for Strictly Sports. It's the ridiculously over gentleman Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel Dee Dee Woodson, and of course, our Imperial Grand Poobah himself, the Hardcore Pipe, I'm Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up, talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. But for now, my friends, God bless, be good to each other, have a blessed Friday, and until tomorrow night for Strictly Sports, you've been watching this special edition of the Wrestling Forum right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. Good night, everybody.